So the mechanism or the chemistry of electrolysis begins with these ions dissociating and moving randomly in all directions. But when an electric field, that is when electricity is applied, the charged ions migrate opposite ways, as we can see displayed on the screen. We can see inside the beaker or the bowl of electrolyte, we can see the charges migrating opposite ways. The cations, that's the positive ions, migrating to the cathode, and the anions moving over to the anode. So this is actually what happens when a source of electricity is passed into the electrolyte. Then at the electrodes, oxidation and reduction takes place. Now, how is this possible, and how is the whole reaction of oxidation and reduction taking place at the cathode and at the anode? So at the anode, we have what is called anodic reaction, because at the anode, the species that migrate to the anode are electron rich, hence they tend to lose their electrons. As they give out their electrons, they become neutral. For example, the hydroxide ion, when it loses its electron, it becomes neutral, and as it becomes neutral, it combines with other hydroxide ion to give water and oxygen. So this is why we say oxidation takes place at the anode, because oxidation is loss of electron, and that is what the electron rich species that migrates to the anode do. They lose or give out their electron to become neutral, and loss of electron is oxidation. And at the cathode, however, what happens? The cathode, actually the species that migrates to the cathode will gain electrons or receive electron, and that is reduction. So reduction reaction takes place at the cathode, that is the cathodic reaction. And as this species gains electron, for example hydrogen species, as it gains electron, it becomes single hydrogen atom, and since this is not stable, it tends to combine with other hydrogen atoms to give the hydrogen molecule, which is a stable species. So this is actually what happens at the anode and at the cathode when these salts or acids or bases dissociates in water and electric field is passed through it. So in summary, we can say that metals and hydrogen are liberated at the cathode, while non-metals are usually obtained at the anode. So this is actually what happens at the cathode and at the anode. Now, talking about species being liberated at the cathode or at the anode, that will now lead us to our next subtopic, which is